Many thanks for joining us for this edition of Channel One News Hour. I thank you once again for keeping with us. We have a comprehensive coverage of today's news, but first, a look at the highlights.
Our line, which is carrying geothermal line from Olkaria to Nairobi and all the way up to here, had a problem. It tripped and we lost that geothermal.
Kenyans express outrage over power blackout as Energy Cabinet Secretary blames power surge on the main transmission line between Olkaria Geothermal Station and Nairobi. Pressure continues to mount for the disbandment of the National Transport and Safety Authority, NTSA.
Want absolute order here, and security must be such that we continue to attract the investors that we must attract, and those who visit our country are free to do so.
3 cabinet secretaries in impromptu inspection tour of Jomo Kenyatta International Airport ahead of facelift. And opposition senators walk out of committee election in protest of alleged interference from State House. Once again, thank you very much for joining us tonight. My name is Edward Kabasa. Our sign language interpreter tonight is Gideon Bogo. A nationwide power outage experienced last evening was caused by a power surge on the main transmission line between Olkaria Geothermal Station and Nairobi. Energy Cabinet Secretary Charles Keter says the government has embarked on repairs and rehabilitation of all power transmission lines in the country to improve efficiency and minimize power outages. This emerged as a section of members of the Energy Committee of the National Assembly say they plan to summon senior officials of Kenya Power to shed light on various issues affecting the utility firm, among them the inflated monthly power bills for the last month once the House reopens.
Most parts of the country, among them sections of Nairobi, Mount Kenya, Nyanza, Western, Rift Valley and Coast, were last evening plunged into darkness due to a fault on the main Olkaria-Nairobi transmission line. Energy Cabinet Secretary Charles Keter says one of the 2 transmission lines evacuating 250 megawatts tripped, causing a power surge on the remaining line, which led to the power outage.
Our line, which is carrying geothermal line from Olkaria to Nairobi and all the way up to here, had a problem. It tripped and we lost that geothermal because about 250 megawatts. So it's a lot. So when there is that impact, I mean, it's a simple explanation. You are getting out 250 at one go. It shut off the system across all the network. So there was also a problem with the connection because all these also connect all the way to Uganda. So sometimes when there's a problem on our side, when the Uganda one is also active, but the Uganda one is about the whole country is about 400 megawatts. At that time, the consumption 630 was about 1,500 megawatts. So losing geothermal at that time really caused the partial, let me use partial blackout.
He says the government is rehabilitating key power lines in the country and automation of Kenya Power operations in a bid to increase efficiency in electricity supply. The issue of the erratic billing system also featured, with Keter defending Kenya Power, while some members of the Energy Committee of the National Assembly say they plan to summon senior officials of Kenya Power over the issue.
And who gave them the authority to recover this money from the consumers? Were there minutes? Was there a board? Was there any communication between them and ERC? And we will not agree that the price and the cost of electricity goes high. Somebody will therefore be tasked to explain, and Kenya Power will be a subject of investigation when we resume.
PLC, we are open, and our books are available. If anyone wants to come and look at them, we are more than happy to receive them and share the information that we have.
The members of parliament had proposed that an audit be carried out into operations of Kenya Power, something Keter also welcomed.
These guys are audited very well. I mean, it's a parastatal. To remove money out of that parastatal, 2 billion or so, or even 1 cent, even 1 cent, even 10 cents, you cannot.
It's quoted in the stock exchange.
Yeah, it's quoted in the stock exchange. So these are the things which are there. I mean, KPLC to be quoted in the stock exchange must be, it's under the CMA. The CMA is a regulator. So on that one, we are okay.
The legislators questioned why Kenya Power did not undertake a pilot of the new billing system before rolling it out.
And in other matters, Makueni County Senator Mutula Kilonzo Jr. and former Naivasha MP John Mutudho now want the National Transport and Safety Authority (NTSA) disbanded altogether. The two leaders cite increased cases of road carnage that saw at least 200 people die during the festive season. They spoke as 9 people believed to be members of the same family perished in yet another tragic road accident along the Nyeri-Nyahururu road.
Only a day ago, President Uhuru Kenyatta, while speaking in Meru, directed that NTSA officers be withdrawn from the roads and their mandate taken over by the traffic police officers.
Leo hii nataka nitangaze hapa ya kwamba kama serikali tumeamua na tumesema, na ndio tuweze kuona kama we can get better order also in the operations za maofisa wetu ambao wanatenda kazi ya traffic, ya kwamba maofisa wote wa NTSA ambao wamekuwa mabarabarani, hawa wote sasa warudi kazi ya traffic, iwachiwe polisi.
A call that many Kenyans have rallied behind, accusing NTSA officials of laxity in restoring sanity in the transport sector. And while the directive by the president has been lauded by many, Makueni County Senator Mutula Kilonzo Jr. and former Naivasha lawmaker John Mutudho want NTSA disbanded altogether.
On NTSA, it's a noble idea, but the implementation where NTSA officers turn themselves to revenue collectors is completely out of order.
Mimi nashangaa kwamba tume ambayo inaitwa NTSA mpaka sasa hakuna mtu amefutwa kazi, hakuna mtu amejiuzulu, na tumepoteza watu wengi sana katika ajali za barabara, hasa katika mji tunaoita Salga.
The two leaders pointing out that the time was nigh for the government to do whatever was within its powers to restore sanity in the transport sector.
Kudos, my president. You did it right. It's now time to sack the bosses. Let them go home. Get a team who can read and write. And I suggest they go at their own cost to Victoria State in Australia, where they will see what Road Safety Authority can do and how they run their affairs.
Mimi ningeuliza hata kama ni mheshimiwa rais atoe agizo haraka iwezekanavyo, askari wa polisi wa traffic wafanye kazi yao, NTSA wafanye kazi yao usiku, na tupunguze ajali barabarani.
They spoke a day after 9 people said to be members of the same family perished in yet another tragic road accident while heading for a funeral service in Othaya in Nyeri. The 9 met their sudden demise when the driver of the matatu they were traveling in lost control at Kianugu near the Daragwa forest along the Nyeri-Nyahururu road. The vehicle then veered off the road, rolling several times. 5 people, among them the driver and a child, died on the spot, while 4 others succumbed to injuries at the Nyahururu County and Referral Hospital. In yet another crash, 2 people died and several others were injured in a road accident at Matunda Center along the Kitale-Eldoret Road after the Nissan Matatu they were traveling in collided with a lorry.
Kosa yamekuwa ya mtu wa lori. Yeye kijana yule amekuwa ni mlevi, na tumepata habari hata afisa wa polisi wamemfukuza akapita roadblock Mwezi Bridge. So amekuwa katika hali ya kutoroka, na bahati mbaya akaja kufika Matunda hapa akashindwa kudhibiti gari.
Cases of road carnage have been on the increase in the country amid calls from Kenyans that the government intervenes to reverse the situation before it gets out of hand.
Naimiza serikali yetu ijaribu kupanua hii barabara hapa, kwa sababu hii barabara ni ndogo, kuna watu wengi wa biashara na tumefinyika sana. Kila mtu na shughuli yake, so barabara ipanuliwe kwa kubwa at least.
Victor Muyakane, Channel 1.
Thank you very much, Victor Muyakane, for that report. And in other matters, President Uhuru Kenyatta will on Thursday leave the country for South Africa. It is his first foreign trip since his re-election. The State House says the president is expected to hold bilateral talks with his South African counterpart Jacob Zuma on issues touching on trade, security and infrastructure. As President Kenyatta begins his final term in office, one of his main agendas will be strengthening Kenya's role as one of the key players of Africa's development agenda. Coming against the backdrop of a failed mission to clinch the leadership of the African Union, President Kenyatta heads to South Africa, a country whose diplomatic relations with Kenya has continued to gravitate over the years. In his first trip abroad after winning a second term in office, President Kenyatta is expected to hold talks with South Africa's Jacob Zuma on how the two countries can cement their engagements in trade, security and infrastructure. Kenya has played a key role in efforts to bring lasting peace in Somalia and South Sudan with the support of countries such as South Africa. And in other matters, the Jomo Kenyatta International Airport, JKIA, is set to undergo a major transformation in the next 100 days to streamline and smoothen its operations. A team of 3 cabinet secretaries made the revelation during an impromptu visit to the facility to check on areas that need immediate intervention in order to assure customers of safe and serene services at the JKIA. Ron Clifford accompanied the team and filed the following report.
5 days after being retained as cabinet secretaries by the head of state, Interior CS Fred Matiang'i, his transport colleague James Macharia, and their tourism counterpart Najib Balala were surprise guests at the Jomo Kenyatta International Airport. Their arrival here signaling a long morning for staff and guests at Kenya's main gateway. They were on a mission to tour the facility to ascertain levels of hospitality management and security preparedness at the airport. Interior CS Fred Matiang'i says the visit was informed of the need to make changes in the facility to meet international standards. They also want to ensure safety for visitors using the international airport.
We want absolute order here, and security must be such that we continue to attract the investors that we must attract, and those who visit our country are free to do so. They are happy to do so. When they get here, they are satisfied and they feel secure even as they come into our country.
The team traversed the airport, stopping at key areas of interest to ask hard questions.
We will not entertain any negotiation or any discussion. No one does that, because this has got a bearing on the image of the country and the security. So we sit down and determine and agree. I won't care who says what. We sit down and agree. 2 operators will come to the airport in this manner. Taxi operators in this manner. Anyone else who doesn't want to comply, wakende.
Staff at the Customs Department were put to task to explain the process of clearing goods following claims that staff in the department often harass passengers.
Issues up. Why do you insist that even when people are planning for the clearance, they have to come? Why?
Unfortunately. But of concern to the cabinet secretaries was wastage of time during clearance at the visa department.
Frankly, I think we need to think about this. We need to think hard about this process. How is it to continue as a bad neighbor?
You see, the airport is getting busier and busier. Now we have about 7.5 million capacity. We are planning 12 million. But that 12 million, because the body image of the country is the airport. Exactly.
And in a bid to ensure international best practices of hospitality, the government says all staff working at the JKIA will undergo customer care training.
We have now appointed Utalii College. Every public servant who works here in the next 100 days must be trained and have certified examination on customer care so that we know what we are doing to our clients. These clients are bringing revenue to the country. These clients are important visitors to the country as investors, so we must know how to handle them.
The team says major changes should be expected within the next 100 days as the Jubilee administration works round the clock in delivering its promise of a smooth and seamless international airport.
You are aware recently we got granted direct flights to the US, and so we must live up to that expectation. But historically there have been gaps here, and we came as a multi-sector team to see how we can improve that. There are many agencies operating from this Jomo Kenyatta airports, and so we like to make sure that they all work together. That's why we're working together at ministerial level.
When you're visiting Kenya, when you land in Nairobi, this is the first contact you have with Kenya, and it must be worth the while of everyone who comes to our country.
We are here within 100 days. We must disrupt what was not working and improve what is working and make it even better. Because this is fundamental strategic institution that must work for the country.
For Channel 1 News Hour, I'm Ron Cliff. Audit.
Thank you very much, Roncliffe Audit, for that report. The High Court has upheld the election of Tom Odege as Nyatike Member of Parliament. Justice Joseph Karanja, in dismissing an election petition challenging Odege's victory, ruled that that he was validly elected on August 8, 2017, and that the petitioner lacked enough evidence to prove that the Nyatike constituency elections were marred with irregularities. Here's Ben Chumba with that report.
Tom Odege will continue serving as Nyatike Member of Parliament after the High Court in Homa Bay declared that he was validly elected on August 8th last year. Justice Joseph Karanja dismissed the petition filed by Odege's main rival Frederick Ogenga for lack of evidence. Ogenga wanted Odege's election nullified on grounds that it was marred with irregularities. However, in his ruling, Justice Karanja argued that Ogenga's petition failed to prove that the errors and irregularities in the poll were so grave that they could affect the final election results.
That order, of course, in as much as he spent in defending the petition, if it will foster a healing process in the constituency.
Even though we have some disagreements and some shortcomings about it, we still say it was not fair.
Meanwhile, former Kirinyaga Senator Daniel Karaba has formally withdrawn his petition challenging the election of Charles Kibiru as Kirinyaga Senator. Karaba, through his lawyer Kibe Mungai, announced his decision to abandon the case, citing lack of faith in the judicial process.
He's disillusioned with the court process, and therefore he would like to try to give the people of Kirinyaga a chance to forge their way forward. The issue for the elections should belong to the past, because his expectation when he filed the petition was that this is a matter that could be handled quickly and without a long appeal process, which has now become inevitable.
And Kibwezi East Member of Parliament Jessica Mbalu has suffered a legal setback after the Makueni High Court declined her application to add more evidence in the case challenging her victory in the August 8th general election. Justice Charles Kariuki struck out Mbalu's application after the petitioners objected the move, arguing it will delay time set for petition cases to be heard and determined. Elsewhere, the High Court has restrained the Office of Director of Public Prosecution and Director of Criminal Investigation from commencing criminal proceedings against city lawyer Am Lagat. Justice Roslyn Naburili issued the order prohibiting the prosecution of Lagat, who commissioned affidavits in support of an election petition against Machakos Governor Dr. Alfred Mutua. Justice Aburili ruled that police should desist from carrying out any investigation on the lawyer until the matter before the court is heard and determined. Lagat moved to court seeking protection after police stormed his home at Kileleshwa.
Why are they pursuing me? Why are they pursuing my family? Why are they threatening me? I did my work in accordance with the law. I did my work as an advocate. I commissioned the affidavits. I witnessed the document.
Ben Chumba reporting for Scales of Justice.
Thank you very much, Ben Chumba, for that report. We are taking a short break, but don't go too far. We still have plenty lined up for you.
The Easy Banking app is your bank anywhere, anytime. Everything you do at the bank is on Easy Banking app. You can use the app to send money, pay bills, buy and pay for goods and services, access easy loans, check the status of your account, save for future goals, and so much more. And now you can enjoy an even better banking experience with the just updated Easy Banking app. Loaded with a great suite of powerful features, so you're always in control of your banking lifestyle wherever you are. Download the Easy Banking app from Google Play Store or App Store and link your Equity Bank account. If you do not have an Equity Bank account, open one hapo from the app. Easy Banking. Experience convenience in life.
Uvune na Vuna Tatu. Kila dakika 30 pata fursa ya kuvuna mamia na maelfu ya pesa hadi jackpot ya shilingi 350,000. Kuanzia kuvuna, andika paybill number 326326. Kwenye account name chagua na uandike nambari 3 kutoka 0 hadi 9. Kisha kwa amount weka kiwango kutoka shilingi 10 hadi shilingi 1,000. Bet yako ikishinda utapata mamia maelfu hadi shilingi 350,000 jackpot. Weka sasa uvune na Vuna Tatu. Ni Vuna time. Killer time.
This Thursday on Road to Success.
It doesn't matter where you start. Whether you're starting with cooking chapati or selling ice cream for 1 shilling, if you're determined and you know that you pray to your God, you'll actually make it.
If you don't have money to start a business, you have no business starting a business.
Road to Success. Only on KBC. Channel 1.
You are watching Channel 1 News Hour. My name is Edward Kabasa. Glad to be with you. Opposition senators walked out of elections to choose leadership of the Roads and Transport Committee, protesting alleged interference from State House. The abstinence of the 4 NASA senators, however, could not stop the election of Kiambu Senator Kimani Wamatangi as the chair and his Marsabit counterpart Hargura Gudana as the vice chair. And as Kevin Washira reports, the Senate Watchdog Committee on Public Accounts and Investment will be chaired by Homa Bay Senator Moses Kajwang, deputized by Meru Senator Mithika Linturi.
Homa Bay Senator Moses Kajwang was elected as the Senate's Public Accounts and Investment Committee chairperson after his main opponent, Kisii Senator Professor Sam Ongeri, lacked a member to second his nomination as per House procedure. Meru Senator Mithika Linturi was elected as the vice chairperson of the Watchdog Committee that oversees counties' expenditure. Speaking after the elections, the 2 senators committed to ensure Kenyans get the value for money.
So as a committee, we will go beyond the issue of looking at audit reports and dealing with those who have messed up with public finances, but we will work with counties, we will work with county assemblies to find ways of helping them. One very significant thing that we must do as a committee is to develop the capacity of the county assemblies to carry out primary oversight.
The elections of the leadership of the Senate's Roads and Transport Committee took place in absence of NASA senators who walked out protesting interference from the executive arm of the government. The remaining senators, all allied to Jubilee Party, proceeded to elect Kiambu Senator Kimani Wamatangi as the chairperson and his Marsabit counterpart Agura Ngodana as the vice chairperson.
I want to take this opportunity to extend, as the chairman of this committee, my olive branch to all members, irrespective of their political affiliation, to work with us as a team.
Our Transport Committee is a platform to perform our oversight role on the executive. But the executive has gone to an extent of influencing even the voting of the committees.
Kirinyaga Senator Charles Kibiru and his Lamu counterpart Anwar Loitiptip will lead the Tourism and Industrialization Committee as the chairperson and vice chairperson respectively.
According to the Jubilee Manifesto and the legacy that the president wants to leave, one of the 4 pillars is manufacturing. So industrialization comes up very, very, very critical when it comes to those issues. So our aim would be looking at how do we move in getting industries in the counties so that they can also diversify income.
Mina shahada ya international tourism na experience zaidi ya miaka 8 katika utalii, trade na viwanda. So hii tajiriba yote ya uongozi naileta katika committee na nina imani sana tukishirikiana na viongozi wenzangu tuta revitalize utalii, viwanda na biashara na kuipeleka Kenya mali inafaa.
Nairobi Senator Johnston Sakaja was elected the chairperson of Senate's Labor and Social Welfare Committee and will be deputized by nominated Senator Alice Milgo.
To begin with, one of the issues that we must look at definitely is this culture that has crept in, that once these governors have all been elected, people are being fired, people are being hired right, left and center, and it's not being done in a structured way. That's an issue that we want to look at very keenly as a committee.
The Senate committee responsible for national cohesion and equal opportunities will be led by Kajiado Senator Philip Mpaiye, deputized by nominated Senator Naomi Jilo Wako.
First of all, I must thank God and the people, the committee that has given us the opportunity to serve in this commission. We and the team that has elected us, they have faith in us that we will deliver.
It has been my passion, and in the past, of course, I have championed that in peaceful coexistence, and even from my background as a church leader, it has always been my prayer to serve in this committee, and my prayer now is that we will work as a team and bring that peaceful coexistence in our nation.
Kevin Washira, Channel One News.
Thank you very much, Kevin Washira, for that report. And still in Parliament, the Wiper Party is now demanding the revocation of some House leadership positions which it says belong to the party. Wiper in particular says a pre-election agreement had allocated the position of the minority chief whip to the party only for ODM to rush and fill in the positions.
The House leadership wrangles among the opposition NASA seems far from over, with the Wiper Party now stoking another controversy by claiming that the Orange Democratic Movement had backtracked on their pre-election agreement on the sharing of House positions. The Wiper Party, which held a close to 5-hour closed-door meeting Wednesday with its leader Kalonzo Musyoka, demanded the reverting of the position of the minority whip to the party, which ODM has already failed.
There has been some disquiet regarding the sharing of House committees, and we have asked our party leader at the summit to talk about this matter, because it's not a light matter.
Other positions which the party claims were its reserve are at the Parliamentary Service Commission.
Because they had agreed, as a summit, they had agreed initially. So we want that position restored.
On the Kitui West by-election scheduled for March this year, Wiper disclosed that at least 3 aspirants, among them the wife of the immediate area MP, the late Francis Nyenze, have shown interest in the seat.
This is our seat, and therefore it is very competitive. People want to vie through Wiper, so there must be fair nomination.
The party has, in the meantime, supported negotiations over the current political standoff with the government, saying should they fail to take place, the proposed swearing in of NASA leadership will go on as scheduled. In Busia, County Government Source Peter Ojamong has vowed to crack the whip on lazy county officers who are out to dent his legacy for the county as he embarks to serving the county residents for his final term.
Wale ambao hawana nia ya kufanya kazi watu ya Busia, ni jukumu lao sasa kujitoa mapema kabla hawajafikiwa.
Samson Kitavi, Channel 1 News.
To matters health now, the World Health Organization has pledged its full support for the delivery of universal health care for all in the next 5 years, one of the main pillars of President Uhuru Kenyatta's Big Four Action Plan. WHO Director General Tedros Adhanom pledged his full support to the Big Four agenda when he paid a courtesy call on President Uhuru Kenyatta at State House.
Dr. Tedros, who is on his first official visit to the country in his capacity as the Director General of the Global Health Agency, said his organization is ready to partner with the government to enhance provision of health care. He pledged to work with the government to bring health experts to assist in the development of a model that will be efficient and effective in the provision of universal health care to Kenyans. President Kenyatta welcomed the support of the World Health Organization in delivering his Big Four plan, especially on boosting healthcare delivery for all Kenyans. The head of state said priority is to ensure improved and affordable healthcare services. President Kenyatta and Dr. Tedros agreed that the focus should move away from conferences to working with communities in address health needs. Meanwhile, Dr. Tedros, who visited Kiambu Level 5 Hospital, said WHO will work with the 47 counties to enhance medical care.
I can see how really committed this government is to make it happen. Honest commitment. And from WHO side, we said we will do everything to help. And we even discussed on the first bold, on the first step, what to do in order to make it happen. In the next 5 years, 100% coverage.
Health Cabinet Secretary Cleopa Mailu, who accompanied him, said the government is committed to reform the National Hospital Insurance Fund, NHIF, to promote access to affordable health care.
Universal health coverage is what the country is going to be engaged in, and the counties are at the center, because as we discussed this morning, counties' role is to deliver health services, and therefore the primary health care approach is going to be implemented by the county government.
Beatrice Getonyingetich, Channel 1 News Hour.
And in other matters, doctors at the Naivasha Sub-County Hospital have been forced to amputate the legs of a fisherman who was attacked over the weekend by El Hippo in Lake Naivasha. This came as environmentalists and the medics expressed concern over increased cases of human-wildlife conflict in the lakeside town.
Three men went on a fishing escapade in Lake Naivasha last weekend in what was routine. Enoch Romano, John Gishinga and another friend had the prospects of making a big catch that day to cushion the hard economic times. Little did they know what was awaiting them in the lake. A herd of hippos appeared from nowhere and attacked the three, leaving one of them dead and two others seriously injured. According to Romano, he was laying his fishing nets near Kasarani Landing Beach when the hippos attacked him from behind.
Ilikuwa masaa saa 5. Nilienda kazi kama kawaida. Sasa nikawa niko juu ya boat number 5. Sasa hiyo mnyama sijui kutokea wapi. Nimekuja kai imenishika miguu. Sasa vile shika miguu ikavunja.
The middle-aged father of two, whose legs have been amputated to save his life, might now be forced to depend on others for survival following the incident.
Ilipovunja sasa nilipokuja hapa hivi, madaktari wakasema itawezekana mguu tena survive. Sasa ikabidi hizo miguu zikatwe. Ndio manake sasa unaona niko hivi. Kinsa nilikuwa nimesema kama watu marafiki wenye watanisaidia. Watanisaidia nipate miguu. Ndio tena niendelee na maisha yangu. Angumia yetu.
Gichinga, on the other hand, was injured on the thigh as he swam to safety.
Sasa hiyo kitu sikuwa nimeiona, ilikuwa tu imekaa ndani ya majani. Sasa juu ilikuwa kubwa vile, ilikuwa mtoi. Kanitokelezea nyuma na kunishika, kunizamisha chini ya maji. Sasa kunishika vile ikasikia ijanishika poa, ikaniachilia kunishika poa. Ndio nikapata njia ya kujitoa hapo sasa.
Aliponivuruta nikaingia ndani ya maji. Sasa nilipoingia ndani ya maji wale wenzangu ndio waliniokoa. Walipoona nimepiga nduru ndio wakiniokoa. Sasa ndio ikatoroka ikaenda.
According to the nurse in charge of the male surgical ward at Naivasha Sub-County Hospital, Susan Kamau, the amputation was the only option.
He was taken immediately to theater simply because both legs were severely off and amputation was done. And from that time, he has been having a severe pain, but today at least he's responding. He has responded quite well with medication.
Aliniacha kwa nyumba akienda kazi. Baada ya muda mfupi nikasikia amekuwa attacked na hipo. So ningependa kuomba watu wa KWS wachukulie hatua, sababu hao wanyama wanaangamiza watu wengi.
This came as environmentalists and the medics expressed concerns over increasing cases of human-wildlife conflict. The lakeside town is home to 2 major national parks, with majority of the wildlife straying out in search of pastures and water. Samson Kitavi, Lunchtime News.
We do apologize for that, but in other matters, at least 700 teachers from Kajiado County have been trained on the new education curriculum in an effort to ensure the new education system is adopted in earnest. Details of this and other stories in our county news roundup.
With the process of implementing the new education curriculum fast gathering steam, it's all systems go in Kajiado County. The county government has already trained over 700 teachers in far-flung areas on the new system, with 400 others expected to undergo training in the next 2 weeks. County Executive in charge of education Samuel Seki has dismissed claims that the new system dubbed 2633 will compromise the quality of education and favor only bright students.
We have embraced the new system of education and the new curriculum of the ECD and the upper primary. We have trained them already, and they are ready to set themselves and ready to go to start the new curriculum.
Elsewhere, a number of business owners in Voi Town, Taita Taveta County are counting losses after a fire destroyed their property. The cause of the fire that started early in the morning has not been established, although there are claims that it was caused by an electric fault. The affected traders are also faulting the Taita Taveta County government firefighters for not responding in good time.
Hakuna hata gari yenye inaweza kuja kusaidia mkasa kama huu, kwa sababu huu mkasa umetokea kama saa 11 na tangu hiyo saa 11 hatujapata hata usaidizi wowote, ni sisi wenyewe tumeng'ang'ana.
Meanwhile, drought-stricken residents of Balambala constituency in Garissa County and its environs are set to benefit from a drought mitigation program that will ensure continuous supply of water. Speaking in Nunau, Area Member of Parliament Abdi Omar Shurie said he is working closely with the national and county governments as well as other donors to ensure that relief food is availed to victims.
Since they have taken most of their camels and the cattle to far-flung areas so that we can take care of the kids and the mamas who have been left in the villages, and this is just to relieve them in the short term, and we pray and hope that the rains will come.
And Kiambu County government intends to put up affordable houses to bridge the housing deficit that has seen county residents live in indecent houses. Area Deputy Governor James Nyoro says the decision to roll out the plan was in conformity with the Jubilee's government manifesto that seeks to ensure every Kenyan has access to affordable housing.
Na tutakuwa na mpango kama vile umeona, tuko na MCA wa area hii, tuko na MCAs wengine wa hapa, na MCA wote wa Kiambu tumeongea. Tutachukua record ya watu ambao wako na shida aina hii,
na tutaendelea sisi tukitumia pesa ya county, tukitumia wale ambao tutashikana pamoja, tuone vile watasaidika.
Finally, Kenya Films Classification Board Chief Executive Officer Ezekiel Mutua is cautioning local television stations against broadcasting inappropriate content contrary watershed hours guidelines. Mutua, who spoke in Mombasa County, said that the board has already tabled a bill in Parliament to strengthen existing laws.
We are not killing creativity. We are not undermining creativity. We don't want to be seen like we are curtailing freedoms that are so clearly spelled out in the Constitution. But we are saying a program like 10/10, the nature and form and timing and the kind of people participate, the manner it is structured. I'm told kids are lured even with 500 shillings to attend. There is no clarity to show whether these kids are really underage or whether they have become adults, whether they have IDs. We don't have that proof. Parents are complaining and they're asking, why are you allowing it? You can take it from me that will stop at nothing until the media is properly regulated and becomes responsible, because it's at the very core of our development.
For Channel 1 News Hour, I'm Emily K. Badi.
You are watching Channel 1 News Hour. Quick break here. Business news is coming up next.
Tuliwini 10,000, nimefurahi, nitakiwa nikishiriki na hiyo mega dola 2018.
Uko tayari kwa 2018?
Kwa majina yangu naitwa Pastor Thomas Onsale Ratemo. Nilianza kucheza hii mchezo mega dola miezi 2 imepita. Tarehe 27 Disemba nilipata nikipigiwa simu, nimeshinda 10,000. Hizi pesa nataka kutolea Mungu fungu la 10, na ile napaki nitolee mtoto school fees. Na naomba watu wa Nyansanja na Kenya mzima wasiriki hii mega dola. Sio uongo, ni ukweli. 2018 nikiwa na mega dola nitacheza.
Hata wewe unaweza jishindia zako za school fees, biashara na mahitaji yoyote ya 2018 na mega dola. Top up kuanzia shilingi 100 kwa paybill 295888, account name KBC, na uanzie kucheza sasa. Unaweza angukia maelfu ya pesa. Happy 2018 kutoka Mega Dollar. Big winners for the new year.
And time for business news that Kenya Airways is set to commence direct flights to the United States later this year has been warmly received by those in the horticultural industry. They say direct flights will reduce the freight costs of cut flowers by 3 times, as well as the duration it takes to ferry the produce to the U.S., hence help Kenya grow her market share from the current 1%.
While the Africa Growth and Opportunity Act afforded Kenya and other developing countries duty-free access of some goods into the U.S. market, the cut flower subsector, which is Kenya's top forex earner, has remained underexploited. Kenya currently commands a 1% market share of the lucrative market. A number of reasons, including lack of direct flights into the market, have been a major challenge for Kenya. This gap has seen countries like Colombia and Ecuador hog the market. Key issues have been that the cost of freight and transport depends on several factors, such as flight availability, internal regulations in the country of origin, and the volume of flowers shipped. This therefore means that air freight costs are a key factor limiting the success of cut flower exports into the U.S. market. For instance,
Air freight cost for cut flowers from Bogota in Colombia to Miami is $1.10 per kilo, while Kenya pays 3 times higher for a similar cargo. While Kenya ranks as the first world exporter of roses to the European Union, commanding a 38% market share, it is doing badly in the US market, yet roses make up the majority of exports at 78%. Kenya's cut flowers are presently expensive in the US market owing to the long distances exporters have to cover before eventually venturing into the lucrative market, going by per capita consumption during special days, including Valentine's or Mother's Day, when many people in the US buy flowers. This is set to drastically reduce once Kenya Airways commences direct flights to the US later this year. In addition, the duration it takes to ferry cut flowers will reduce, thus help Kenya secure more market for her horticultural produce in the US. Judith Akolo, Channel 1 Business.
And I asked Judith Okolo how possible it is for someone to come up with such a beautiful blend of colors within a rose, and she told me that it's all about gene manipulation. Thank you very much, Judith Okolo, for that particular report. Over 7,000 farmers living near the Arabuko Sokoke forest in Malindi are reaping heavily from the butterfly farming, with locals terming the discovery they are flying gold. The farmers hunt for butterflies from the forest, breed their eggs for 3 to 4 weeks to the pupa stage, then sell them.
It may come as a surprise to many who don't know how lucrative butterfly farming can be. For farmers living near the Arabuko Sokoke forest in Malindi, it has been a rewarding initiative since 1993, with farmers earning up to 20,000 shillings weekly.
Mebadilisha. Maana hapo mwanzo kulikuwa kuna hali ngumu kwa sababu watu walikuwa wanazunguka huku na huku kutafuta kazi au kutafuta vibarua, lakini tangu mwanzo huu mradi tunaona kwamba wengi tumetulia na tunaona tunafanya kazi vizuri.
Tumshukuru Mungu sana, manake tumepata masoko kiasi cha kwamba tuna matumaini makubwa mwaka huu tutapata faida kubwa.
It is believed that Kenya has over 871 species of butterflies, with 263 of them found in the Arabuko Sokoke forests. Taking advantage of their abundance, farmers confine the butterflies in cages and wait for them to lay eggs that take up to 4 weeks to reach the pupa stage, when they are sold for onward export.
Kwa hivyo tunawapeleka kule nje wakati wakiwa katika stage ya cocoon ama pupa, wakapasukia kule, wapepee kule. Kuna kipepeo anayependwa zaidi kupita wale wengine, huyu anaitwa Papiliodadanus. Huyu kipepeo anapendwa sana na pia uhitaji wake ni mkubwa zaidi.
With assistance from a local organization, the farmers are trained on how to collect different butterflies and breed them in their homemade cages. It is from here that the farmers sort different species, especially those that command higher prices at the market.
We are working with almost over 400 farmers. Out of these farmers, we have those active breeders and those seasonal breeders. The active breeders, I mean that the one that we work with them from January to December, they breed throughout the year. But also we have those small-scale breeders, kind of a seasonal farmers. They normally kind of bring the products during the rainy season between April to August.
The farmers, however, have to contend with the challenge of a booming production cycle, especially during the rainy seasons, and competition from high butterfly producing countries such as Philippines and Ecuador.
Mwanzo kama vifaa vya kufugia, hiyo ni changamoto kubwa, na nyingine ni masoko. Pia masoko tukipata kwa wingi tutashukuru zaidi, maana kazi itakuwa, tukifanya kazi itakuwa na malipo kweli.
Nicholas Ndwati, News Hour Business.
And in other matters, the World Bank projects that the global economic growth is likely to speed up this year after a stronger than expected 2017. The bank's new forecast is that the world economy will expand by 3.1% this year, slowing slightly. Details of this and other business news making headlines across the globe.
It will be the first time since the financial crisis that growth is operating at its full potential. However, the World Bank report warns the upswing will be short-term, with gains in improving living standards and reducing poverty levels at risk long-term. For the immediate future, the bank sees a reasonable upbeat prospect. The forecast is better than what the bank was expecting in its previous assessment in June. Among the larger economies, the up rating is especially marked for Eurozone, though the bank thinks it will slow somewhat this year by less than its previous forecast. Emerging and developing economies will grow slightly faster this year in its forecast. Elsewhere, oil prices hit their highest level since 2014 today, fueled by the ongoing production cuts led by OPEC, as well as healthy demand. Although analysts cautioned that the current oil supply might not be meeting the demand, a broad global market rally, including stocks, has also been fueling investment into crude oil futures. Light crude oils rose by 0.5%, while the U.S. West Texas Intermediate light crude rose 0.8%. Investors say the extension of OPEC agreement and declining inventories are all helping to drive the price higher. The cuts, which have mostly targeted Europe and North America, were aimed at reducing a global supply overhang that had dogged oil markets since 2014. Finally, the head of Britain's biggest trade union will warn Peugeot's chief executive at a meeting this month that any plan to close the firm's Vauxhall car plant in northern England will cost its sales in Opel Vauxhall's largest market. Peugeot's market PSA bought General Motors' loss-making European arm, which operates as Opel on the continent and Vauxhall in Britain last year, and has been pursuing a restructuring plan to return to profitability. The French group says it cut a further 250 jobs at its Osma car plant, in reducing the workforce by to make it more efficient, renewing workers' fears about the site's future.
In sport, the Kenya Swimming Federation Nairobi branch will host their first event of 2018 this weekend at the Makini School as they build up to a congested year of local and international tournaments. The first major international event this year will be the Dubai International Aquatic Championship, which will be held in April.
After successfully beginning the 2018 calendar of events with a technical officiating clinic held at the YMCA on Saturday, KSF Nairobi branch will have their first meet of 2018 this weekend at the Makini School. The tournament will bring together hundreds of swimmers from different age categories who will compete in the long-distance swim meet as they gauge their performance before the Level 2 Championship, which is a foreign trips qualifier, set to be held next weekend at the same venue. Junior swimmers under the age of 9 years will open the 2018 season with a Minos meet that will be held on the 27th January, less than a month before the National Federation holds their first event of 2018, the National Age Group Open and Relay Championship at the Kasarani Stadium. The Ghana Zone 4 Championship will be the first major international tournament this year and will be held from the